Hi, I'm Joe Connolly, and this is a New York story. Karyn Villante is a New York area mom who came out of the fashion and apparel industry, who went back to work after she raised her children, and she is bringing back apparel manufacturing in New York. Her company is called Made Here New York, and this is a great New York story. Karyn, how did you get started in manufacturing all these great products you will tell us about?
Well, it was a challenge from my daughter. She wore my sweaters, which I've had in my closet because they're timeless. And she would wear my sweaters to college, and her friends would ask her, "Why? Where'd you get that? What can we? They loved it. I mean, she was young. She is young, but ultimately the question was asked to me, "Why aren't you designing sweaters again, Mom?" And the first thought to me was, well, I had been out of it for a while, but to my knowledge, the knitting mills that I had used were all out of business.
You were at the big department stores, right?
We did major programs. A lot of the factories I used,
for Macy's,
Bloomingdale, Saks. We did a lot of major programs, but the factories' businesses had gone down considerably since then. So that was not the major reason, though, because I said, somebody has to be. There's still knitting mills out there. I'm going to find them. I did. So I just made it my business. And it was also, I wanted to be a role model, too. I wanted to say, you know what? If there is anybody out there, let me find them. I'll talk to people that I used to know and just follow it through. I mean, Brooklyn, Ridgewood, Queens, the Bronx, these were the stomping grounds of the knitting industry. So with one person, I found more people, and I would knock on doors, speaking to their intercoms, "Do you finish sweaters?" And many times they didn't even speak English.
When you say a knitting mill, is this something that looks like one of these old photos of looms with thread coming out upstairs in Manhattan someplace?
Yes, very much so. Some of them are vertical, which would be, there aren't many vertical knitting mills left anymore, so one floor would be the knitting, the next floor would be the washing, the next floor would be the finishing. Now it's more like a knitter knits the goods, then you send it to a finisher. But it's also changing and evolving because some factories now have machinery that is more technological, and you don't need as much in one factory anymore.
So you had to do real detective work to find places where this apparel could be manufactured in New York.
Yes.
How long was the detective work phase?
The detective work phase, it's ongoing.
Right.
I enjoy it very much because from what I found is that the people who are still knitting, they're the survivors. They've changed, they've adapted to the needs now. So, and as you can see, the people in the factories that I found have made great quality products. And I really enjoy working with them. And when I first stepped my foot back into a knitting mill, I just love it.
Tell us about some of these items that you are bringing back the manufacturing of here in New York.
Well, this is a throw blanket. It's 50 by 60. I wrapped them all in twill ribbon. It's 100% cotton. Originally, I started with the sweater, so I replicated this sweater.
Is this the one that you made that your daughter wore in school?
Yeah, this is the one, yeah.
Hold it up. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So she wore it, and I...
It's fine, right? So the people said, where did you get such a nice sweater?
Correct.
It's beautiful.
So that's what my first initial that was my first project, basically. So
to make this again.
Yeah, so I had to find the knitting mill, the knitting machine that made the original stitch was no longer available. It was called the Liam machine. They dumped many of them in landfills, which just is awful. So they have newer, faster knitting machines that could replicate the stitch. So basically I copied myself and did it again. And I ordered Supima cotton from Supima cotton, which is the longest staple fiber. It used to be used in car tires before nylon was invented. So luckily for me, now I'm a small fish, I'm going to these big cotton manufacturers. Hey, can I get some Supima cotton?
What do they say?
Oh, they said,
Right.
And I told them about my business. I told them about myself, and they said, well, for whatever reason, Karyn, we'll lower our minimums for you. And I said, yes, that's great. So I started out like that.
So they said, we'll lower our minimum order for you because you come from FIT, you come from the industry, and your enthusiasm obviously wins them over.
I guess they liked my story. And also, I asked if they had any odd lots they wanted to get rid of, because many times a big corporation, somebody's doing a program, it'll have 200 pounds here, 200 pounds there, and so I tried that. I tried every avenue, basically.
Wow. How's business going now?
It's very good. It's very good. The blankets have taken a little bit of center stage. They are one size fits all. They're machine washable. After I did buy all this yarn, I did my little small batch of capsule sweaters, and it went all right. And then somebody asked, can I make blankets? So I said, sure, let's make blankets, because I love blankets. I mean, I have blankets. In addition, aside from the fact that I make them, there's always a blanket in my car. There's always a blanket in my kids. There's a blanket. I love blankets. So when I went to my another knitting mill, I asked him if he had any yarn available that he would want to use to get rid of. And he said, oh, yeah. And he had some yarn. So basically, I've been able to use some of his yarn just because he had it readily available. And coincidentally, or I should not say coincidentally, but many times factories will have yarn like this from a program that they anticipated that didn't happen.
Right.
So, and many times it'll be 200 pounds, 100 pounds. They'll toss it.
You are running this business largely from your home.
Yes.
And you're sending work to mills all over the New York area.
Yes.
How do customers find you?
Well, I have a website, www.madeherenewyork.com. I do pop-ups and craft shows, and I'm also in and part of West Elm's local assortment in their stores in New York and online, and that's definitely helped incredibly.
Having an outlet through a big name.
Yep.
So that's quite an accomplishment. You're a vendor to West Elm.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great. Really, they've been really supportive.
Yeah.
Very supportive.
How so? What happens when a big store like that starts to carry you?
Well, initially, I was just in their New York stores, and it was very small orders in each of the stores. And so I just sat on that for a while, and I also continued with my blankets. I made baby blankets. I just, I continued doing what I was doing. And, not necessarily waiting on sales, but promoting it in my own way. And then I approached the higher ups, and I said, listen, how can we make this a better collaboration for both of us? And
well, there's the key the phrase that always opens doors.
Right, and I said, I have new stuff to show you, because initially, I have new stuff. They said, tell me what you have, send it, da da da. So initially, when I went online, 2015 I was in their stores. 2017. 2 blankets were online. One of them is down there. It's online
on the West Elm site
on their website
as well?
Oh, yeah, I drop ship from their website, and that's what really helped me. So then the next year I said, I have some more styles to show you. So this September, as of the end of September, I have 4 styles now on their website.
In stores not only in New York, but elsewhere?
No, it's just online and New York stores.
So everywhere?
Well, wow. New York stores and online.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.